Wiley Vision Studio in Spokane, Washington. The Stephen James Wiley Show.
Greetings, brethren, sistren, beautiful people of the world. How in the heck are ya? I got a quote I want to share with you. This one will go out to all my bald brothers and sisters. Probably not many sisters. Probably all my bald brothers. This is a quote from Bill Burr about Nirvana's Krist Novoselic. I don't know how to say the end of his last name, but he's the bass player for Nirvana, right? Yeah, we all know that. Bill Burr said, "There's so many people that pretend to give an F-U-C-K. That guy, Krist, just does not give an F in a really good way. First of all, he went bald like a shoe salesman. He never shaved the whole thing to try to make it look like maybe he knows some jujitsu. He went bald like Bob Newhart as a rock star. He doesn't give a fuck." So, and it's true. There's a picture of Krist right here, and he looks like an older gentleman. But the same, face as when he was 20 years old. And it brought to me a question, because I'm bald. By definition, I fit bald, right? And I don't want to be bald. No man who is bald wants to be bald. And I remember in my 20s, as it started to happen, my hair was thinning, and I thought, oh my God, I'm losing. And there's this moment of panic, and it's vanity. It's pure vanity, right? Because what does it matter? I'll never be as good as I looked when I had hair. Maybe not. My wife tells me, and many people, they all know me as bald. I've been bald arguably longer than anyone's known me to have had hair at this point in my life. So that's interesting unto itself. But the way men go bald now is we just own it and we shave it all off. There was, we don't like, I call it the ring of wisdom. We don't want to sport the ring of wisdom. I remember there was one year, Matt Hasselbeck, when he was quarterback for the Seahawks, he totally rocked a robust ring of wisdom. It looked awful. It reminded me, it just reminded me of every haircut a guy had growing up who went bald. Otherwise known as, in some respect, Bob Newhart. Although I don't know that Bob Newhart ever went fully bald. He always had a little something up top. Just a little roughage. And it made me wonder why Kyle Goss also does it. He lets the ring of wisdom flourish. Why don't I? Obviously, my wife would probably leave me. That's one good reason not to do it. But other than that, I'm an independent man. She can deal with it for a little bit. Why don't I let it happen? Well, it would age me probably 10 years instantly. There's going to be gray in it, which I've never explored what that would look like, but I don't want to. I don't want to know, but there's a part of me that wants to know. And there's a part of me that wants to experience the courage required to know. It didn't take courage in the 70s, 60s. Yes, actually, that's wrong. I'm not correct. It took courage. Because I remember people, when I was a kid, people would make fun of bald men. They would make fun of them for being bald. And it was demeaned, openly demeaned. And I remember being conscious of that as a kid. Like, we think that's not okay, or it looks goofy, or it's funny. So that's okay. So yeah. So then you got all these guys who embraced it anyway. Maybe they thought they had no choice. They didn't want to use a razor and keep their head. But nobody wanted to shave their head completely bald either. It was like they were holding on to whatever hair they had because it was better than nothing. Whereas now, at this point in our culture, it's all or nothing. And we all go for the nothing because I don't want to sport the ring of wisdom. And nobody else I know does either. Or I've got friends who are really thin, so they keep it nice and short. Really, not crew cut short or like military short, little saplings, but stylishly short that it kind of blends in the bald areas with the hair. And it's a good look. It's not a bad look. I don't demean it at all. And I envy whatever hair they have. I've got nothing up top. Maybe if I grow it out, there'd be like 5 stray hairs. Like we could name them, and I could take pictures of them and make them into social media characters. Because that's how dumb everything is. But I want to know why I don't have that kind of courage at this point. I'm a middle-aged man. My bag of fucks to give should be empty right now. And it largely is. And it just happens. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your politics are, what your religion is. Yeah, it does kind of matter what your religion is. That's not true. But many, and that's what some people call that a midlife crisis, where that results in doing really ridiculous things because you suddenly feel life slipping away. And I always thought of getting a series of wigs. John D. Rockefeller Sr. because he had a alopecia. Is that a thing? Is that the right thing? He lost all his hair, like eyebrows, everything. And he got a series of 31 or 30 wigs, and he would wear a different one each day to simulate hair growth. And then he would start over at the beginning of each month, like he'd just gotten a haircut, and did that until he died. And I thought, why don't I just get a bunch of really great wigs? And I get the luxury now of having pretty much any hairstyle I want. I could have a little, like, Jew fro. I got a little bit of Jewish in my blood. Nobody knows this, but I do. Just not a big one. Not a hey, look at me one, but just, an inch or two of puff. Curly puff. Curly puff. What is that? Shirley Temple movie. Curly top, you little bundle of joy. I didn't sing that wrong. I sang it wrong. My sister could get on here and tell me the correct way to sing that. Or I could do a long, long hair, like a Kurt Cobain look. Or, a young Eddie Vedder. And it can be whatever shade of brown or dark I want. I could go blonde. I could do the John Foreman from Switchfoot. I would never do, I'm not a dreadlocks guy. That wouldn't be a good look on me, particularly. But I could do that, and it would be cool. And I still might. But that costs a lot of money to get a good wig, get really good wigs. So I'm going to keep that on the back burner. I might go back to that well and pull that idea out just to make my life interesting at some point. But today's disappointment is I don't have the courage to be Bob Newhart. And most men don't. Or Tim Conway. Tim Conway was like that. Who was Tim Conway good friends with? Don Rickles. Or no, was it Bob Newhart and Don Rickles? Let's look it up. I have this thing called the internet. Bob Newhart and Don, not Dong, Don Rickles. Yeah, they were super buds. Yeah. I would love to have been friends with Don Rickles. That guy was so freaking hilarious. But huge love to Tim Conway, too. Rickles, another guy who went bald. Never shaved his head. Anyhow, I don't know how you feel that as a bald man. If you're a bald man, you know what I'm talking about. And maybe it's time to have a cultural moment, a cultural movement, a cultural season where we bring back the Ring of Wisdom. We sport and take pride in the hair we have to show the world. And we can just ferment it, throw a little color in it, or just go with the gray, with the salt and pepper, whatever you got. If you're a young man and you're going bald much younger than you wanted to, maybe it's your FU to the culture, your middle finger to the world by sporting just a luscious golden brown ring of wisdom and a smooth bald noggin on top that you use lots of sunscreen on and keep well lotioned for moisture. That's a thing I'm thinking about, and I'm going to keep thinking about it because it challenges me, and I like a good challenge. I'll be right back.
In the past, you saw a big Ford pickup carry a Chevy pickup up this monster mountain of boulders. But now we're going to top ourselves by carrying a Chevy and towing a Dodge pickup up the same mountain. Because this year, Ford has the most powerful lineup of V8 engines, gas and diesel, of any pickup. And only Ford has independent front suspension for ground-grabbing traction. No wonder they're America's best-selling full-size pickups. The best-built American trucks are built Ford Tough.
American Septic, proudly serving Phoenix, Arizona and surrounding areas since 1953. At A American, we can pump, clean and repair your current septic system with ease. Or we can design and install a brand new state-of-the-art system. No matter the problem, our crackerjack crew of expert technicians have got you covered. Every Jack, Jill, and Diane gets a thrill when they hear the A American pump truck coming up the road. A American Septic. Find us on the World Wide Web at aamericanseptic.com. That's aamericanseptic.com.
Hello?
The intro to the Bob Newhart Show, 1972. Talking about Bob got me thinking. Man, they don't make intros like these anymore. George Robert Newhart, born September 5th, 1929, passed away July 18th of last year, 2024. He was an American comedian and actor. Newhart was known for his deadpan and stammering delivery style. Beginning his career as a stand-up comedian, he transitioned his career to acting in television. He received numerous accolades, including 3 Grammy Awards, an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and he received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in 2002. Newhart came to prominence in 1960 when his record album for comedic monologues, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, became a bestseller and reached number 1 on the Billboard Pop Album chart and won 2 Grammy Awards for the Album of the Year and Best New Artist. That same year, he released his follow-up album, The Button-Down Mind Strikes Back, which was also a success, and the 2 albums held the Billboard number 1 and number 2 spots simultaneously. He later released several additional comedy albums. Newhart hosted a short-lived NBC variety show, The Bob Newhart Show, 1961. I would have thought that would have taken off. That sounds like something that would have worked. Before starring, he later then starred in the as Chicago psychologist Robert Hartley on The Bob Newhart Show from 1972 to 1978. For the latter, he won the Golden Globe Award for the Best Male TV Star. He then starred as Vermont innkeeper Dick Loudon on the series Newhart from 1982 to 1990, where he received 3 nominations for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. He also starred in 2 short-lived sitcoms, Bob and George and Leo, in the 90s. He also acted in films, Hell is for Heroes, 1962, Hot Millions, 68, Catch-22, 1970, Cold Turkey, 71, In and Out, 1997, and Elf, 2003. He voiced Bernard in the Disney animated film The Rescuers, 1977, and its sequel in 1990. He also played Professor Proton on the CBS sitcom Big Bang Theory from 2013 to 18, and he also reprised that role on The Young Sheldon Show. There's a lot I could tell you. Talking about Bob Newhart made me want to go talk about Bob Newhart. You know, I started this whole episode to talk about some Christian bands that I freaking loved, and I was going to run through their music, and then, honestly, I was just kind of having a shit day, and I thought, I'm going to talk about this bald thing real quick and figure out where that goes. And here we are, talking about Bob Newhart, and Don Rickles, and Tim Conway. What is it about me that I just love the old guard? I mean, they're almost all gone. Mel Brooks is still alive, but he's almost 100. Carl Reiner just passed away, a year or 2 ago. We were watching as a family the Dick Van Dyke Show 2 nights ago. We watched a couple episodes, and then Reagan and I have been watching Arrested Development. We're slowly cruising through that. But all of it, so well written. But man, the Dick Van Dyke Show was just so wonderful. Well, I was going to do what I was going to do, but I didn't do it. So this is what I did. It's shorter. It's cool. It's something that I authentically am pondering. Baldness. And will I find the courage to be me? And will you, bald brother, find the courage to be you? Or maybe we're doing just fine and nobody wants to see the ring of wisdom. That's probably the truth. But just hang out. Maybe I'll do it. And if I do it, I will take pictures and post them where people can see them. Like on the corkboard at the public library. Anyhow, we're going to roll out to the intro to Bob Newhart's second TV show called Newhart. And I wish you love, joy, peace, all the fruit of the Spirit, as Jesus would say. And I wish it to you in vast amounts, because it's all we got down here.